Questions about the Wingsurfer since we started launching some photos and videos of it. So I want to try to answer as many of your questions as I can. Basically, the idea behind this, at least our concept behind it, is simplicity. So a package that's really easy to put together, no rigging components, no lines, no bars. Everything is just in one unit. You pump it up and you go. It also comes in one size, 4 square meters. It's all you need. You can spill the wind as you get powered up, and it makes enough power that you can get going pretty darn easily. A lot of questions have been about, do you have to foil? Can you use it on an SUP? Can you use it on a normal windsurfer? Can you use it on a skateboard? Kind of all of the above. You can definitely foil on it, and foiling makes the most sense in terms of how much power you can make with a 4 meter and how much resistance a foil board makes. So they really fit nicely together. But it is a lot of fun on an SUP. If you have a big touring board, you know how difficult it is and how it's not much fun to paddle when it's windy. Even 5 or 10 knots on a stand-up paddleboard isn't much fun. With this, you can turn it into a lot of fun. So yes, it's easy. Just take your big board and you go. You can go downwind, you can go upwind. Can you go upwind with it? Yeah, absolutely. Especially on a foil, you can fly upwind. But even on an SUP, you can go back and forth upwind, no problem at all. So another question is, do you need a harness? You don't need a harness. There's so little resistance with this. Once you get going, it's actually creating lift. And this whole thing weighs absolutely nothing at all. That's the beauty of having no boom, no hardware. It's really light in the hands. I can sail for hours with no harness at all, easy on the hands. So no harness lines, no harness, no boom. We've got handles, nice soft handles all along the strut, so you can handle it easily. There's nothing to hit yourself on, nothing to ding your board with. And it packs up into a little tiny backpack, which makes it very, very convenient. Another question that we've had is, what happens if you let go of it? Well, you've got a wrist leash that's attached to the leading edge here. And so if you let go of it, it's not going anywhere. Just pull it back, and off you go. Another question we've had is on the type of boards that we're using, the foil boards, how big a board do you need? Well, you need a big enough board, really, unless you're very, very good. You can actually get going on a non-floaty board. But you want a floater. You want something you can climb up on, get to your knees, quickly stand up, and then use the wing to get you going. So I'm on a 95 liter most of the time. I think most people will be on 95 to 135, somewhere in that range, if they're on a foil board. A really common question is, how much wind do you need? Well, to foil with this 4 meter, I need 12 knots of wind. So enough wind to get going on slalom gear, enough wind to go kiting, but not crazy strong wind. Enough that you've got a few white caps and you can pump it onto a plane and go. Using a fairly big foil. If you're going to use a kite foil, you're going to need more wind. If you're going to use a surf foil like what I'm using basically what we call our XL foil at Naish. If you use a bigger foil, like a big downwind foil, you can go in even lighter wind. So it depends how much wind, how big you are, how big a wing you're using. In terms of going on a stand-up paddleboard, a couple of knots and you're going. In 5 knots, you're already going faster than you can paddle. So really light wind. How much wind do you want to go in? You don't want to go in crazy strong winds. It's not really designed for that, but you clearly can. Today is gusting to probably 25, and I'm still on the 4 meter. You don't need to change sizes. You can just feather it. So you can use one wing for basically everything. You don't need a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 5. And yeah, again, simplicity is the idea. So basically the board that I've been riding, this is a 95 liter SUP foil board. It's designed for SUP downwinders and SUP wave riding on a foil. I use foot straps. You don't have to use foot straps. You can go without. So if you have a stand-up paddle board, a foil board, that'll work absolutely perfectly. I recommend using a leash on the board and a leash on the wing, just in case. Some people don't think you need it, but you can definitely get yourself into situations where you want to be connected to both. There have been questions, can I use it on the snow? Can I use it on my skateboard? Can I use it with ice skates? Sure. I mean, again, handheld wings have been around for decades. The first wing that I tried like this was actually in 1981 in Kailua. And then, of course, there was the wind weapon, which was a similar rigid structure wing that connected to the board, not a free-held inflated wing. But yeah, you could use this on a skateboard, you could use it on a snowboard, you could use it on skis. It's probably not something you want to be dragging on the ground a lot because it is inflated. We do have Kevlar reinforced patches on the leading edge of the wingtip, so for abrasion against the ground, against your board, etc. So if you're really good, absolutely. But it wouldn't take long dragging it along the street to probably destroy the leading edge. So it's water recommended, I'd say. The question is, do we need a window? Why is there no window in it? I find the vast majority of the time you know where you're going, and if you want to see where you're going, you just lift it up like that while you're riding. You're not riding it vertically like a sail, windsurfing all the time. You're kind of changing between having it over your head and having it sideways. When you want to see what's downwind of you, you just lift it up and have a quick look. I'm asking, can you water start it? No, you can't really water start it. Not like you can on a windsurfer or a kite. Basically, you get up onto your knees, you sheet in. If you're on your board, you need a board that you can float on like that. You get up on one leg, and then you stand up and go. So you need a board that's stable enough and floaty enough that you can at least get up on it. And then once the wing's creating lift, off you go. But you can't ride a full sinker. I mean, Bernd Roediger's out on a board right now that's about, 25 liters. But he's Bernd. He starts sinking it, gets it going, and gets it up. I'm sure people will be doing that. But in the beginning, take something that you can float on. So another question is, how difficult is it, at least on a foil? I wouldn't want to learn how to foil on this. So you want to know how to get up on a foil, either windsurfing or preferably surfing or stand-up, and learn that whole balance of being on the wing, and then transitioning to this would be pretty easy. So if you don't have access to waves and you want to do it, get behind a boat or a jet ski or something and get that feeling of getting up on the wing, and then bring the wingsurfer and the wind element into it after that. But I think trying to combine all of this for the very first time would be pretty difficult. So a very common question is, when are they going to be available? They're in production now. They're going to be available in limited quantities in the third week of May, and then commercially by the beginning, mid-June, depending on where you live in the world. And be worth the wait. They're fun. People have asked, is this going to replace windsurfing or replace kiting? Should they get rid of all their old gear? No, this isn't a replacement of windsurfing or kite surfing. It's an addition. It's something fun, new, different, with the emphasis on simplicity. The fact that you pump it up with one pump and off you go. No boom, no rigging, no lines, no strings attached. The simplicity is attractive. The performance level, are you going to go as fast as you can windsurfing, jump as high as you can kiting? No. Absolutely not. This is a complement to those. It's something different. Ask, can you jump it? Well, yeah, probably if you were going really fast in a lot of wind, but you have to remember it's only 4 square meters. So you're not going to go crazy high, and that's not really the point. But yeah, guys will be jumping them. For me, it's just about carving around, using the wind and water, and especially foils, in a new way. And for bringing wind into people's lives that have bought stand-up paddle boards that have never experienced windsurfing or kiting, this will give them a transition into those sports. So a lot of people have asked, how is it on a downwinder? Well, I can tell you it's a lot more fun on a downwinder than paddling. I've never been a huge fan of downwinders, although I appreciate it. It's way too much work for me. This makes it fun. So you can basically fly downwind. Instead of just struggling to catch the bumps, you're just connecting the bumps from one to another. So it adds a whole new dimension of playfulness and ease to doing a downwinder, whether you're on a foil or whether you're on a stand-up. It makes it a lot of fun. But downwind is not the only direction. You can go upwind like a son of a bitch on these things. Some people comment it looks heavy, it looks hard on your arms, looks like you've run out of strength in 5 minutes. Now this thing, again, because there's no boom, no rigging, this doesn't weigh anything at all. And when you're riding, it's actually creating lift. It's lifting your arms. So there's not a lot of pull. So it's not something you need a lot of strength to do. You'll build up to it for sure. But at least on a foil cruising around, I can go for hours and never even think about my arms. So So, no, it's easy on the hands and very lightweight.